Hi everyone, and welcome to Naturally. This is our third video in the series on finding authentic happiness, and this week we're going to talk about practicing acceptance. So, practicing acceptance is important because the only thing in life that's guaranteed is that it will constantly be in a state of change, and most of those changes will be ones we weren't expecting in the slightest and that we did not plan ourselves and put on our calendar. And because of that, acceptance is a way to freedom, happiness, and general even contentment. So we'll give an example. There is a small percentage of things in our life that tend to go as expected. Me and my friend pull out our calendars and we plan to go to dinner on a Tuesday night at 7. Tuesday night comes and we go to dinner. And so we have a success. We expect something, we've planned it, and it takes place. The only thing that might be spontaneous about that situation is the conversation that we have once we get there. However, most things in our lives don't go that way. Tuesday could also come and something crazy could happen and one of us has to cancel and it just can't happen. And then there has to be a level of acceptance that takes place. Or, for some people, a level of non-acceptance. There's two ways you could treat it. Say it wasn't me who canceled, say it was my friend who canceled. And she was like, I'm sorry, something came up and I just can't go. Well, first option is I could be really upset with her that she changed plans on me at the last minute and I was really looking forward to eating at this particular place, etc., etc., etc. And I'm really kind of holding it against her. I've got this little grudge happening and I'm feeling all these things and my muscles are clenching and all that stuff that's not so pleasant. Or I could go, you know what? That could have just as easily been something that came up for me. Oh, wait a second. If it had been me who canceled on her because something came up for me, how would I feel if she was holding that grudge against me? That would really stink. I would hope that she would accept that I had to cancel and just trust in the fact that we would reschedule and that would happen when it's meant to happen. And move on with my life, and she moves on with her life. We don't hold grudges, our friendship is not affected in a negative way, and we just put a little trust in the fact that we will have dinner sometime in the near future and it's going to be great when it happens. Simple. Successful. Awesome. That basically ensures that when the time finally comes that we do get to have this little outing together, we're going to appreciate it to the max. We're going to have a great time because we've got a positive attitude going into it and our perspective has been changed to one of acceptance and gratitude for even being able to get together and share this time together no matter when that time happens. So, on the broader spectrum, applying that general perspective to the chaos that is our daily lives will give you so much freedom and so much liberation, and it'll definitely end up equaling happiness in a genuine way as well. So, all those things that happen to you on a daily basis, most of them are going to be things you did not expect. You can go into work with a to-do list, and most of the time, you might get a few things done on that to-do list, but you're going to be putting out fires. There's going to be people coming in with new stuff that you got to do right now. And if you have a negative feeling about it every time it happens and you don't accept it, you're just going to spend your entire day wearing yourself out from all the emotions tied to that. So try to just look at things through a different perspective. It really helps. And it's really a healthier way of living life. You're not sitting around spending all your energy on grudges against people. You're not angry so much anymore. You're just kind of like, well, you know, I was angry for about 5 minutes, but I don't want to be angry anymore, so I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to clear my mind, and I'm going to move on with my life. End of story. Makes life so much easier. Part of acceptance is faith, having faith in things. Faith meaning you're believing in something that you don't know all the details about. It's not like fact. You will have to accept and adapt to things where you have no idea what the outcome is going to be. And you're just going to go, I have no idea what's going to happen. Once again, we have two options. I have no idea what's going to happen. So number one, the negative option would be, I don't know what's going to happen. That scares me to death. I'm going to continue to be scared to death. I'm going to be edgy. I'm going to be frustrated. I'm going to take that out on the people around me because I can't control my emotions about it. And I'm going to just worry about it even though I have absolutely no control over the outcome. And that's going to wear me out, and I'm going to feel really tired and be even more frustrated. Option two. Okay, can I control this? Nope. Do I have any way of changing the outcome? Probably not. All right, then, I accept it. Even though I don't know what's going to happen, I believe that whatever happens is meant to be, and it will be for my greatest good in the end. And even if it doesn't end up being a good thing, there'll be some sort of lesson that I learn from it that'll be good at some other point in my life. Changing your perspective, accepting what's going on, having faith in what you don't know about it, and knowing that if the lesson you learn from it now isn't useful, it will be useful in the future. So many good things come out of acceptance. Whether it comes out of it now or it comes out of it later, it will come. And that's what's awesome about it. It's like owning the prize of adaptation. If you can adapt to your surroundings, you will survive. If you can't adapt to your surroundings, you will die off. It's kind of like nature and the world and ecosystems and environments. The animals and the humans that adapt are the ones that survive and live out their lives. And the others fall victim to what's around them because they're allowing it to consume every inch of their body, every bit of their spiritual, mental, physical health. So that's kind of what I'm trying to bring forward here for you to think on and consider for yourself if you haven't already done so. I'll give you a little personal story about acceptance and one of the first ways in which I used it on a regular basis that really made a huge impact on my life. I spent a lot of years suffering from panic disorder. I would have panic attacks almost every single day, and if you've never had a panic attack, I beg of you to please be nice and understanding to people who do go through this, because it feels like you're dying, and it's the most horrible lack of control over your body and a misunderstanding that your body's having about the fight or flight scenario, and it's very intense and it's extremely uncomfortable. I still get them every once in a while, but I am happy to say that I would consider myself 95% cured due to hard work and effort and the amazing help of some friends of mine over the years. One of those friends, and I don't even know if he realizes how much this little moment meant to me, and maybe I should write him and tell him after this, but one time I was having a really intense panic attack, and I posted something, I think on Facebook or something, like, oh my gosh, this feels like I'm dying. I wish I knew that this would ever end, this panic attack cycle. And the more you have them, the more you fear the next one, which causes you to have a next one, and they just keep going and going. And I was coming off of medication, which was making them more frequent and more intense because of the side effects of going back to not having medicine. And he said, Allison, what you need to do is you need to go bring it on. You know what, body? If you're gonna scare me good and hard for a short period of time, and then leave me alone. And, you know, he had them as well, so I knew he understood what I was going through. And he has some medical training. So even though it sounded a little weird and a little scary to just let go and just say, okay, body, just overwhelm yourself and be as overwhelmed as you want to be. But it worked. And I think the reason why it worked is actually pretty simplistic if you think about it. I hated having panic attacks. So what happened when they took place? I spent the entire time being upset that I couldn't control my body and spending all this energy trying to control it. I'm going to control it. I'm going to get it to stop. I'm so mad that this is happening. I'm so scared right now, and I'm going to just fight and fight and fight and fight against what's happening in my body, because the world doesn't stop moving. People don't stop doing things around you when you have a panic attack. You're just there feeling like you're dying amongst a whole group of people who have no idea what's going on. And it's embarrassing. And so, you know, you're trying to fight it to make it stop so that you can not seem like some weirdo in the corner. But he told me to do this, and I started doing it. And it took a little while to gain strength, but I started doing it. I started just going, here I am. Do what you want. I can't control you anyway. And it really, like, I guess is the power of the mind over the body. And it started really helping me. At first, it started shortening the length of the panic attacks, and then after that, it started lessening the amount of them and the frequency, and then eventually I just, for the most part, stopped having them. I mean, there have been other changes I've made in my life that I definitely believe have contributed to the overall curing of that, but that was one of the first ones that I used, and it really made a difference. So thank you, Robert, for suggesting that, and I took your advice and it changed my life. So acceptance can do a lot of things, and a lot of good things for that matter. Let me make it clear before I wrap things up that when I say that acceptance is important, there are a few exceptions and things that you should understand. Acceptance is important when something negative happens to you and you're trying to move on with your life and see things in a more positive way so that you can be productive. Should you accept things that are really horrible and not stand up for what is right? I mean, that's up to you. To me, part of the healthy piece of acceptance and adaptation is also understanding when acceptance means moving on from something that does not serve you. Accepting that it doesn't serve you. So just know the difference. There's, okay, my mother has passed away unexpectedly, and I have to accept that because death is a part of life, but I'm going to be sad anyway because it's my mother. And then on the other hand, you know, that's kind of like a healthy form of acceptance, because you have no control over this, it's bad, and you're going to grieve. But you know, you do have to continue living your life in some way, or you're just going to be ruled by your grief. On the other hand, say you have something in your life, whether it be a relationship with a friend or a family member or a spouse or significant other, where they're consistently being bad to you, they bully you, they disrespect you, they don't appreciate you, they're completely ungrateful. If that's consistently going on and you've tried everything that you know is in your power to change it, and you're not becoming a priority on any level, then part of that acceptance is accepting that you need to move on with your life. and accepting the emotions that go with that, and the fact that those emotions will have an end. It's scary, you're gonna cry, you're gonna feel things because you have to leave this relationship behind. But those feelings are temporary, and if you accept that they're temporary, you can move on with your life, be strong, and go towards things that will serve you better. So there's an example of the importance of knowing the different types of acceptance. Sometimes you're accepting that you're going to have a hard time for a while, but it's for the best in the end. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in this week, and I will see you next time. If you have any suggestions on things that you do that relate to acceptance, or if you have any questions or concerns that you'd like to share, please put them in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys next time.